Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this.
Weird as hell, right? Like season 5 of Stranger Things, bro. We're gonna get all the kids from Hawkins in there. It's weird as hell. And this Dug McDaniel's and the way they're in, like, why not just as a coaching staff, knowing he's one of, if not your best player, why not just get that out of the way so you can move forward and get that suspension put behind you completely?
I don't know. I've never seen this or heard of this before, and I don't know anyone that has. So um, when we find out, I'm hoping for a better explanation from everyone. I mean, I hadn't heard anything, so Matt and I were talking about it before, and I asked him had he ever heard of it. He said no. So I, I I've never heard anything like that because tutors travel. Any academic help you need, usually they travel with you. So. I, who knows what this is about? I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't understand it, but it's not for me to understand.
I don't know whose record this one goes on tonight, Juwan or Phil. I guess they'll argue about that on the
John,
bus.
John, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Is it 6 road games?
Yes, it's with 6 games, and he's not serving them at home. So I mean, it could be 6 games.
6th road game is at Northwestern on February 22nd. If I'm right, because he was suspended for the Maryland game at Maryland, and they lost.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So the 6th road game is February 22nd.
Right.
That'll be his 6th game that he's suspended for.
Because nobody ever in the history of time has been suspended for just road games specifically. So it's just 6 games that they've decided to dole out as discipline. He or they or whoever is just choosing to serve it in this capacity.
Yeah, that takes him. We're almost to March by the time his suspension's over.
Yeah, I mean,
and think about this: if you're the opposing coach, and this is how I always was. Like when you hear news of someone being out, you're always like, nah, man, that's not true. He's going to play. He turned his ankle, whatever it may be. And until you see them not out there on the floor warming up, you're like, right, okay, he's really out. He's really not playing. So if you're an opposing coach and Michigan's getting ready to play in your building, are you still preparing for him? I think you kind of have to because you don't know. I mean, I thought there was no way he's going to start versus Ohio State at home. Like, there's no way they're suspending him and not taking him to Maryland and then turning around and starting him and playing 39 minutes versus Ohio State at home. But there he was. So it's like,
but they don't have a choice, Matt. Game? They don't have a choice.
I know, but RC at Purdue. If I'm Matt Painter, I think the guy's playing. I'm preparing for him to play at Purdue. I'm telling you right now, we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's
no. I don't agree. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. I don't know. I've never heard of it.
I mean, RC,
at this level.
I was just gonna say, how do you expect a program to be successful when you have head coaches substituting in and out whenever they feel like, the point guard serving a suspension on games that he feels like? I mean, they got beat by 15 at home, and Illinois didn't have their best player. I mean, should we really be that surprised that Michigan looks like this when this is some of the, the circumstances of their season?
I mean, we've mentioned it before with Michigan. I don't think they're as talented as the other team. Their margin for error is just so small, and they have to play at almost their absolute best to beat a team like Illinois, even without their best player. This team is Illinois with their best player is competing for the Big Ten title. And they're gonna lose some games because of that. I mean, this is a damn good team. They're well coached. They're tough. They got dudes. They're just missing the first team All-American, and we just know they're never going to reach their potential. Or I don't believe they're going to reach their potential, which was winning the Big Ten potentially, challenging Purdue. I'd say. I think I always had Purdue winning it. I thought Illinois had a chance to challenge Purdue. I don't give them that now, but they'll make the tournament. They'll play the way they play. They'll play tough. They'll defend. Damascus will be able to lead them in scoring. Hawkins has his moments. Rogers will do what he does. Like I said, they're a well-coached team. They're tough. But Michigan, I, I've said this before. When you don't have closers and you don't have guys, and you're relying on guys that have been role players to lead a team like Michigan, I just don't see it this year. It's not that I don't believe they're as talented as everyone else thinks they are. I think they got good pieces, but they don't have a guy. They don't have that dude. And it's hard to win in Big Ten, ACC, or any Power Six conference without a dude.
Matt, just lasting thought on this. Is it just a matter for Michigan then of, how low this goes at this point?
Yeah, John, I like when you look at Juwan Howard and his tenure, and you look at everything that he's done in Sweet 16 and Elite 8, when you look at his coaching record, I don't think, and me and everybody on the field of 68 gives me a hard time because I always side with the coaches, and I never like to put anybody on the hot seat, and Goodman always thinks I'm too positive. He calls me Mr. Positive. But I think if you're looking at the head coaching record of Juwan Howard and what he's done, Elite 8 Sweet 16, we're not talking, about what he's done in between the lines. We're talking about all this other stuff. We're talking about the altercations and handshake lines, the incident with the strength coach, the Dug McDaniel, he's only suspended for road games. And there's just so much stuff that, on the outside looking in, we're just scratching our head saying, what the heck's going on here?
Yeah.
So I don't know, how this season ends for them. I know they just won a national championship in football, and they're trying to figure out whether or not, Jim Harbaugh is coming back. I mean, he's interviewing for every single NFL job under the sun. So I know the athletic director's worried about whether or not he's coming back.
Just watch the championship game again. That's what I would do.
At some point, we got to sit down with Juwan Howard, if you're the AD at Michigan, and say, what are we doing? You're our guy. We want you to be our coach going forward, but we got to figure some of this stuff out.
Man, hopefully everybody's still just drunk from the champagne from 2 weeks ago, right? Like they still got a few of that left, a few bottles of that champagne left, and we're not quite focused on the basketball program just yet. I'll tell you how it ends, Matt. It's probably going to end with a declining of a CBI invitation.
Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.